Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you joining me for the next episode of Tarot the Stash Way. I know you don't know what to do with yourself because we had a Tarot the Stash Way yesterday. We have a Tarot the Stash Way today. Linked below is the playlist for all things Tarot the Stash Way. So if you're just joining, this is your first time, thank you very much for being here. Go find that playlist, go look at it, enjoy it, and let me know what you think. I'm loving the comments that people are making. That is just makes me ridiculously happy. Thank you. So we'll just say that. So I hope you are all hydrated, that you have your writing utensil and your notebook available, because we're picking up where we left off yesterday. We finished the last episode with the Wheel of Fortune, and today we're talking about justice. We're starting with justice, and let's get caught up in chat. I know there's a lot of things going on today, so Indigo Jaguar Intuitive Arts is here. You should be taking care of yourself. Glad you're taking care of yourself. It's like, ugh. So I hope it's not, hope it's not too sick. And mostly looking, that's encouraged. And there's Purple Elephant. Deb H is here. I'm also thinking going to be lurking a bit because we've got to get everybody healthy. Mostly lurking. There you go. Lurking is good. Aspasia Rising is here. Hello. Good to see you. Lisa is here. Thank you. And Maruda is here. Hello, Maruda. And let's see. Just get caught up. I just jumped. And Jonathan Daly is here. Hello, Jonathan. Good to see you. And Kathleen G, something should have been delivered to you today. Just saying. We'll wait. Go out and get it. And Maruda just had a V8. Love that. Iridescent Sea Designs. Hello. And Diana Noodle. Hello. First time here. With pen in hand. I am glad you're here. And it's definitely follow the playlist. Michelle Marie, Astrological Tarot is here. And guess what? A week from tomorrow, I will be on their channel doing readings with them. So I'm looking forward to that. Medium Betsy Palmer is here. And next week at this time, Medium Betsy Palmer and guests will be here. And we will be doing a laugh and learn about the Claires. You won't want to miss that. You will not want to miss that. So, all right. And orange juice for you, yes. Lori Kramer is here. Hi, Lori. Says it got delivered. That's what it said. Oh, well, thank you. I got this. I got this because I think it works well with the background. So, yes. Ooh, the Claires. Who did I miss? All right. So, all right. So welcome back to Tarot the Stash Way. And y'all have heard me give the little spiel ahead of time about pick a book that works for you, pick a book that challenges you, take your notes, make sure that those notes are helpful to you, that they're accessible. So And Leor Black is here. Hello, good to see you. And I love eclairs too. Those are a different kind of eclairs that we're talking about. So, I mean, if you want an eclair while we have it, go for it. Go for it. So yesterday, or the last time, we talked about the Lovers, the Chariot, Strength, the Hermit, and the Wheel of Fortune. And today we are talking about, we're starting with Justice. Justice is number 11. And, oh, Jezree is here. Hello. Good to see you. Yellow is Jupiter's color. Trying to pay attention to these things, or not trying. I am paying attention to these things. So in the Waite-Smith, Justice is number 11. In the Thoth and Tarot de Marseille, it's number 8. We're not talking about that. Well, we just talked about that. So let's talk about what justice means, regardless of where it falls. Justice is number 11, and it is about fairness. It's about finding an equilibrium. There's some equity involved here. And this is definitely a card about legality. So you'll see this, for entertainment purposes only, etc. So, Kathleen G, it's here. Good. So think about justice. So we've had the Wheel of Fortune where everything changes and there's lots of things, roller coaster ride. Justice is the card of the pursuit of balance. And so there's a lot of legal documents are referenced in this, things that have to do with the court, marriage, real estate, the justice system. In a love reading, this could be the person who completes you, who gives you exactly what you need. And so this is also the card about contracts and documentation. So because there is a balance, so you want to make sure that there's a balance to things properly. And it's also finding the big picture balance in life. So, and it's a bigger balance card, greater balance. The balance could be of work and play, rest and action. It could be someone in trouble. It could indicate that. It could be indicative of legal issues, things of that nature. Let me get caught up. You have an ever so slightly mad scientist thing going on today. Just today. It's my goal. Michelle Marie said, Astrological Tarot said, justice is the sword that cuts through a situation and will not be swayed by outer beauty or illusion when deciding what is fair and just. That is well played. Well played, yes. And similar to the Lovers and Temperance, it could be similar to those. Yes, let me rephrase that. Yes, it's similar. It's about balance, finding balance, but it's finding balance on those legal things, and as Michelle Marie said, cutting through and seeing truth. Beth, Astrological Tarot said, I think the difference in placement of justice is interesting. After making a choice and carrying it out, you have the ramifications, 8, as an 11 after the Wheel of Fortune. Very different, yes. Or very different, no. Yes, it is. Justice holds the sword of truth, aka Ace of Swords, to cut through the illusion of injustice, yes. Divine justice, not necessarily justice as human beings wish it would be. Yeah, it is a good point, Michelle Marie. So let me make sure that I have all of my things that I've said. It's and also justice is a balance between justice and mercy. And all right. So thinking about this in relation to relationships, there's the yin and the yang aspect of it. So it's that greater balance. All right. Anything before I move off of that? I'm going to take a sip. Hydrate, people. Hydrate. So we move from the 11 to 12, which is the hanged man or the hanged one. And this is a card associated with a new point of view. It's also a card of self-sacrifice or suspension. And oftentimes, associated with that new perspective, it's a paradigm shift. And, and here's the thing, nothing has changed. You're just looking at it with new eyes because you're upside down. So, and when you have new eyes, you have a new understanding. Um, and that gives you the ability to um, see things differently, see things as they were not before. And oftentimes, when the hanged one shows up, it is something. This takes time. It's about becoming unstuck with very, very old habits. So you have to get out of old ways of thinking, and that takes time. It may lead to discovering multiple things that need unstuck, and this is and those things that need to be unstuck are outmoded ways of thinking or operating in the world. So in a health reading, it could be it could be stumbling and falling. Be careful. And all right, so new point of view. Let's see what we've got. Jezreel said, I find all of this fascinating. Thank you all for your input. Yes, very much. Thank you for being here, everybody. Robin is here just hanging out. Some books point out that the hanged man historically could represent a thief being punished, as they were hanged like this in Italy, which makes sense with justice. I can see that, yes. Hi, Kathy, Tortoiseshell Moon. Good to see you. Tiptoes to the back of the class. Well, come on up front. We got plenty of room. Plenty of room. And this is one, getting, with a paradigm shift, we've heard people who, was it, oh gosh. The deity was hung upside down, created the runes. It completely escapes me. So sorry. But hanging upside down to get enlightenment. So I think that could be very, very. Odin, thank you. Odin. Oh, you're welcome, Kathleen G. Tying the hanged man to mythology, it's often said that he represents the trial of Odin hanging from the world tree when he learned the system of the Elder Futhark. Yes, Odin, Odin, Odin. Viviani is here. Hi, Viviani. I love it. So many of you knew Odin, and it's like, oh my gosh, I just couldn't get it out. So that was Odin. Interestingly, so the hanged man is a 12, which 1 plus 2 equals 3. So it does relate to the Empress. So thinking about this is it requires some nurturing and tending to that. And that's why it's not a quick process. It's something that can take some time. Um, and I have in my notes, moderate enlightenment takes moderate time. When I see the Hanged One show up in a reading, I think about the question, the position, and I also consider the person asking the question or for whom I'm reading. It's like, okay, what is it that needs to be seen differently than it is now? And let me tell you, sometimes I actually turn my hanged man upright or upside down, and I turn all of the cards in the other direction to see if I notice anything differently. Ooh, that's an advanced level tarot Vistache way. Things that you can do while you're reading that help you get a new perspective. Maruda said, Mother Mary tended Jesus after he was taken off the cross. Yes, absolutely. So, okay, so we've done the Hanged Man, or the Hanged One, and Joe is here. Hi, Joe. Good to see you. Good to see you. Now we move on to the card 13, or Death. And this is a card about transformation. Um, it's about mortality. There's also information about suffering. I like how in Robin Wood, the Robin Wood Tarot, the book, she says, and now for something completely different. Something's going to be different than it was before. Um, and also think about this is, very often, it doesn't often mean an actual death. Often it means dying to an old way of thinking or an old way of doing something so that you can get out of your comfort zone. And because when something ends, it's also a new beginning. So oftentimes, when you look at a death card, there's an idea of transformation to it. So when I'm looking at a death card, I do want to see an element of transformation. So you will die to something and it will never be the same again. And with the death card, there's a big aspect of discomfort, because who wants something that they're used to doing to end? I don't. Put your tiny hands up if you like things to change and you have to get used to a new way of doing things. I mean, there's some of you out there. And so there is pain and discomfort associated with the death card. Um, and as I mentioned before, when this card shows up, it could cause a person to think about their own mortality, sorry, or their morality. And it could also be an emotional death. When we think about death, it can be old way of doing something to a new way. Could be old emotions that are dying away. It also could be that there's been a lot of death going on around you, a lot of changes. And so depending upon where it falls, it could be a card of good news because of rebirth. Okay, all of that is over with, and now we're moving into the positive aspect of things. So, and so there's also this idea, and you can say it in French, the little death, and it could be associated with the little death. Look that up. Look I don't know, Le Petit Mater or something like that. So, um, okay. I think that I have, I mean, so a big takeaway for this is it's definitely a rebirth or a transformation. So, all right, we've got a few more people who've shown up. Tortoiseshell Moon, Kathy said that new way of looking at things in the Hanged One can lead to a new way of life and rebirth. Yes. Hi, Chantel, South Africa. Good to see you. Fox with a Book is here. Moving forward from illness into a healthy lifestyle. Yes. Thank you, Betsy. You got it. Ooh la la. So, oh, there you go. Thank you. That. And that. C. McClellan is here. Macmillan is here. Thank you for being here. There you go. Depending upon the cards around it, the Death card can be a change under process, while the Tower is quicker. But in both instances, change is necessary. Absolutely. What Beth wrote. This would be something that I would take notes on if I were watching. So shall we leave death behind and move to temperance, you think? And temperance, number 14. 14 is associated with the 5, so think about the Hierophant and all of the things associated with the number 5. Temperance is not moderation, but it's about tempering. It's the card of alchemy. So think about a sword. You heat it up, you hammer it, you cool it down, you heat it up, you hammer it, you cool it down. And so I like to think about when temperance shows up, it is about balance. It's also about forbearance. And this is a card about doing. This is definitely a card of 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 doing, making something. So yeah, thank you. Temperance is a head scratcher for me. We'll help you, Joe. Yes, I believe in the Thoth, it is called art. Homeostasis. Yes. And so the thing, when I see the temperance card, I immediately go, okay, it's not moderation, it's not temperance, it's a card of alchemy. So it's a card of taking incongruous items and making them work together. Putting things together in a way that they may not have been done before and creating something new out of that. This is the witchcraft card. It's the card of alchemy, making things making a new thing out of what wasn't there before. And okay. It could also be a love card as it relates to creating something new together. Temperance, alchemy, the play of fire and water, having one foot in the conscious and unconscious. Yes. Temperance is my card this year. I used to find it really blah card, a bit meh, but I've grown to love it. Yes, it is a blending, very much so. I pull temperance reverse when something is out of balance and I need to let go. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yes, fire and water equals steam. I always think of the magician as the witchcraft card, at least for me. It is a manifestation card, but there's a lot of ego involved. And for me, the temperance card is changing something to work for me. It could be a challenging situation at work, in a relationship. All right. Okay. Here's an example. Yeah, it's the mixologist. It's when I don't know how many of you cook, but if you cook, it's when you are taking what you have available to you and in the refrigerator or in your pantry or your larder, and putting things together and mixing them to create something new. So, Mystical Thorn is here. Hello, good to see you. Um, a lot of ego involved. That tracks. Yeah. Oh, a lot of ego involved. Bringing opposites together to manifest something completely new. Yes, very much so. Jonathan said, I see it as the divine internal balance versus the magician is a card of channeling the divine into the material realm. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and most people do that if they've cooked for a while, and especially when you got to eat something and you don't know what's in the cupboard. So, um, these are also with the Temperance card, they're internal and external changes. Um, Personal change should, for entertainment purposes only, for health things, something could be going on with you that is, it could be a chemical imbalance. Because oftentimes when you look at the the Temperance card, there is a movement of something between two cups. All right, I'm going to um, all right. Active. We are responsible for our wellness. This is a positive card as it relates for love. And when you're doing cards about healing, this is a card that suggests active participation in our own healing, meaning you just don't show up to a healer, doctor, shaman, whatever, or whomever. You actually have to tell that individual what's going on completely, and then you have to follow up and do what you're told to do. Card of Witchcraft, Alchemy. It's a changing aspect of the life force. And also on Temperance, there's usually an angel or some sort of an angel associated with it. Divine intervention, divine support. There's definitely a connection with divinity on that one. So, Peter J. Watts is work lurking. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm going to take a sip. So, any last minute questions about Temperance? Deb, was that helpful for you? Beth, helpful? And I think the thing about Temperance is it's a card of not everybody can do that. They can't put things together that they've not seen before. And that can be a real challenge. And so thinking about Temperance, which is 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5, it also, for me, it suggests that there's opportunities for keys of understanding and getting new enlightenment. Yep, divine enlightenment. And Purple Elephant Deb H said the figure usually stands with 1 foot on land and 1 foot in water, bridging the gaps. Yes. Yeah. Well, of course, it's me. I am a hidden Easter egg. I am an Easter egg. Yes, it's just a difficult card for me to wrap my head around. I mean, I can recite what it means, but I can't feel it. Okay. Okay. We'll see if we can help some support with that. Oh, here you go. That's the name of the angel on the Temperance card. I think, with this idea of, it's the card of alchemy. And so sometimes we think when we hear temperance, we think moderation. Well, that's an aspect of temperance, but you also have to, it's a transformation. Okay, so let's go on to, and Jonathan said, Deb H. And the ground represents the conscious mind, and the water is the unconscious mind. Yes. I I wonder. Okay. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for entertaining me on that. Then we move to card 15, which is the devil. Now, I think the devil gets a bad rap, the devil card. And yes, the devil card means bondage, temptation. It could also be seduction, which is temptation. It could be greed, and this is the devil card is chaos, and it's the wild side of nature. So the 15 is 1 plus 5 equals 6. So it goes back to the lovers card, where there is a union in the lovers card, partnerships. This is the aspect that, um, okay, now what do we do? And so it's the chaos or the wild side of nature. And the devil card can represent anything that chains you down, something that is holding you back. And it is the card of victimization. So, depending upon the reading and the position, it could be someone who is being a victim. And with that holding you back, oftentimes you can't see it. So, um, but the star card also has 1 foot in the water and the light. And it's wonderful, the images, because there's a lot of different connections. So, um, card of Capricorn, yep, sexy time. Card represents our baser aspects, yes. See, Macmillan said, the devil is my son's significator. He chose it. There you go. And cleaning the soul in the most delicious way. You heard it here first, people. It could also be sex magic. It could be Bacchus or Beelzebub, addiction, codependency, self-sabotage. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Here's something to remember about the devil card is creativity and faith are born out of this card. And you have to, and the reason for creativity to be involved and faith is because you have to have something in order to get out of it. You have to be very, very creative, and you have to have faith that you will get through it, and you must believe that. And so creativity and faith, again, I want to say that, are born out of this card because you have to have creativity in order to get out of it. And you in order to get through it, you have to have faith that you will get through it. Um, I mentioned that this is the chaos or the wild side of nature. It's also the wild side of God and the wild forces of nature. This is the projective side of divinity or nature. If this shows up in a love reading, it could be a codependent relationship. It could be the non-vanilla aspects of intimate relations. And remember, consent is a good thing. When the devil card shows up for me, what reminds me is that things feel over exaggerated. They're out of proportion, and so it could be, it could be that dealing with that need for things to be chaotic. This would be a card that I would associate with the nature spirit Pan. And if you're thinking about a career reading, this isn't a positive thing in a career reading. All right, let's get caught up. Oh, I like that. Creativity and faith springing from the devil's loins. Yes, absolutely. The devil also shows me truth. Whether I want to take that is a different matter. Absolutely. It could be very hot. If a couple, if a pair of people, if their tarot numerology is a devil lovers, it could be a lot of fun. I see Ivana Intuitive is here, and Ivana Intuitive is going to be on my channel doing readings with me and Kelly from Dozen Cats Wellness for in a couple of weeks on a Monday. Yep, safe words. Remind me that things could all be illusion, but we would have to go deeper. Yes. Yep, and out of proportion. This is where things can get really, really crazy. This is when everything is horrible and there's nothing positive about it. Iridescent Sea Design said, I feel like the devil relates to shame or the inability to be ashamed. That is well said. Very well said. So let me say that again. Relates to shame or the inability to be ashamed. Yes. Thank you. Let me make sure that I have all of the things. So when you see when the devil comes up, pay attention to it's the wild side of nature. Look for an opportunity to be creative and to have faith. And anything that chains you down holds you back. So it's about bondage, temptation, seduction, things that are taking you off of your desired path. Like Adam and Eve feeling no shame, meeting the devil, feel shame. Yep. Could also see them lovers becoming devils themselves. Yep. Which represents being our own worst enemies due to habits and dogma that change the way we see the world. Yep. What was the angel's name which was mentioned before? Maruta posted that. And here you go. There you go. Chantel, South Africa. Hope that helps. And yep, that connection to the lovers. One of my favorite TV series ever was Lucifer. Great perspective of humanity from Lucy's point of view. Drama, comedy. Well, and Lucifer is the name Lucifer is light bearer. Lucifer was an angel or is an angel. So it's like, boom, there you go. Okay, so let's go to the Tower. The Tower, which is 16. Yep, a fallen angel. Or a misunderstood angel, and then we could get into the deep and philosophical discussion. Well, didn't Lucifer do what exactly was desired of him? And what I was listening to, I think I was listening to Hero of a Thousand Faces, Joseph Campbell, and it was talked about Lucifer, and when um, Lucifer, God said that all of the angels should love man, and Lucifer said no, because Lucifer only wanted to love God and couldn't make the switch. I've never seen Lucifer. So, all right. So, let's talk about the Tower. The Tower, 16. This is a card that is, this is the time to lose all of the false premises. This is something that hits the foundation. It's a sudden change. It's either inside or out, in or outside of your control. Something to remember with the Tower card is it's humiliating. And you can feel cast out. However, it always leaves you better off. There's a flash of enlightenment. It's forced upon you, and that flash is painful. You're suddenly blinded. Now you have this new information. And once you go through that strike, you're never going to be the same again, and you will be better than before. So, the death is often shown as Bahamut, which represents the combination of all things, male and female, divine and profane, etc. Okay, we have a lover of the Tower, and we have a I never want to see the Tower. And I am a person who, it depends upon where it shows up, because the Tower card is change, but it's change completely out of our control. And so it's instant enlightenment. We have that flash, that inspiration. And here's the other thing is it actually, it requires a lot of self-discipline to get through. And you may need help. You may need help from authorities, people who you trust, to be able to pull you up out of this. It requires looking past the things of the moment, because in that moment, when you are in the rubble of a fallen tower, all you can see is the rubble. You need to focus on the light that's around. There are some really great comments. The lightning is enlightening. Yes, Cindy C. My Tower moments are the best things that have ever happened. I am so glad that you can find that, because in the midst of a Tower strike, it's really hard for me to keep that in mind. And it shakes the foundation. It completely shakes the foundations. Yes. Yeah. And I agree. It's difficult for me when it all goes on. Lisa Rhodes said, I think of a princess stuck in the tower and she lets her hair down for her prince. Okay. Could the tower be a situation you secretly wish for? Absolutely, it could be. It's a dramatic change. It's either in your making or outside of your making. So yes, you could secretly wish for it. I want to move. Okay. You could get a new job somewhere and you have to go, or your job could move. That could be a Tower moment. I love the Tower, but I used to fear it. It represents the shattering of our illusions so we can see truth and be better than we were. It's reaching absolute bottom, and there's only one way out, up. Often the Tower card is communicating, just move on already. Yeah, I could see that, definitely. Viviani thinks of the Tower as the heavy rain before the rainbow. Yes. Joe said, I found my Tower moments I've seen the lightning strike light a match and walk away. Can't go back. And we had a small earthquake yesterday morning, shaking and deep. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It's the drop dead Fred moment. When things aren't working right, the best thing to do is tear them apart and make them better. You could definitely see it as a kick in the pants. Okay, so let me see what I have. We can cause our own tower strike, yes. The promise of the tower is it leaves you better off in the end. And it's in or out of your control. And pulling up ourselves, requiring us to looking at past the moment of the things. And overall, it can be said that it's oftentimes a more positive card than a negative card. Again, hashtag depends upon where it falls in the reading and what's surrounding it. But as Deb H. Purple Elephant said, it means the foundations are anything that's not stable falls so that you can create something stable. I see it as a kick in the pants. Yep. I must be in the move and energy tower last week and 8 of cups this week. Yeah. If the rubble doesn't crush you, yeah. It could signify a new construction to a foundation. Absolutely. And see, this is a good thing. Pay attention to those things. Notice those things because it's how it falls. And Lisa Rhodes said, I feel we have to shake our foundation once in a while to grow. Yeah. Okay. So, tower, there's a first spark of light after darkness of the devil. Then the light expands into the 3 cards getting brighter and brighter. Yes. The tower seems to be another alchemy card where all of the dross is washed away to make a new substance. It is often like an awakening, but not always. Not always obvious. And I don't think it necessarily leaves you in a better situation. That's the journey. Something had to change. It fell. Now you have choices. Yes, what Beth said. Very much so. So yeah, I've jumped through. When I say it leaves you better off on the end, it's I skipped. You have the choices that you now can take. There really are wonderful things in the chat. This is one of the charges I get out of this. So, yep, you and me both, Heather. So, let's talk about the star. So, after the tower, we have the star. And the star is okay. I have some interesting things to say about the star. For me, the star is the guidance or the spirits. It's being led by spirit. When the star card comes up for me, I see this as the universal blessing card. The universe wants to provide you with the things that are going to make you happy. We have to pick them up. So this is a guidance card. It's a blessing card. It's about grace. And when this card comes up, this is the center of the universe's attention. With that, however, it is a card that there is no privacy. If you are the center of attention, everybody's going to notice you. So, and it's a card that is given to you. It's about grace. I didn't create it. It was given to me. the star is a card about divination in all its forms. It's a resource. It's an asking for help from your higher self. This is where, when the star comes up for me, I'm thinking get some clarity from a vision of a higher resource, maybe channeling. It's a card about pay attention to your dreams and the nudges that you get throughout the day. Um, in a love reading, I would say the relationship is blessed. And in the star card, there's a lot of water. And so this is the card of spirit guides. And this is also, you can think about this as this is it's the card of the fool, but with less ego. So less ego than the fool, but still having that connection. All right. All right, let's see. We've got some good stuff here. All right. Card for Aquarius, yes. Maybe like Jingle You, put the wrong block, pull the wrong block out in the Tower Fools, then start over, yes. Twinkle, twinkle. Sabrina is here. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for being here from Argentina. Coyote the Gray is here. Hello, Coyote. And I'm on Coyote the Gray's channel next Monday evening. Again, 1 foot in land and in water. Yes, depending upon the representation. Tortoiseshell Moon said, for me, the star often tells me that it's safe to be vulnerable and exposed while I find my true north. I'm protected and safe. That's really pretty. Thank you. I'll leave that up there so people can write that one down. Jonathan said the star is the card of faith, looking to the spiritual world and embracing your spiritual nature and your spiritual guidance. Yes. Could it represent a narcissist? Yes, it could, especially depending upon where it falls, because this is a person who wants all of the attention, and the star goes down to an 8. I think the narcissist could be the Hierophant or the Emperor if they're unhealthy. Good question, Cindy C. Lisa Rhodes said, I use the star as a death or a spirited loved one. That's how I explained death to my son when he was little about death. Oh, yes. Spirit Keeper's Tarot renamed it the Healer. Yes. I love the star card interpretations with goddesses or gods. Nut, the Egyptian sky goddess, brings needed rain. Absolutely. Beth used to live in Argentina. Strength is a Leo. Okay. Wendy is here. Hi, Wendy. Good to see you here. Let me make sure I've got my notes. I want to check something because, I'm a geek and I'm not apologizing for it. Hope, optimism, inspiration, visionary. Definitely. So, all right. I think we have some time to do some more. What do you think? Because we could finish this today if people want to stay a little later than the full hour. You thinking okay, people? Jonathan said, I see the star card as the self-care as well. The healing the wound of the soul fits the SKT theme. Yep. This big book is The Holistic Tarot by Benabel Wynn. This is my resource. I have two resources. One is the Robin Wood Tarot, the book by Robin Wood, which I really appreciate because it's one that I'm very comfortable with. And the Holistic Tarot, the Benabel Wynn, gives really wonderful and in-depth discussions about it. So I think it's great. Beth said I conferred with my dog, and he said, "No, Mama, we have to go out." Okay, well, let's keep going. We'll see what we do it. So, yeah, definitely. I mean, think about it. Sometimes when you look at the cards, it's the visual representation that is really helpful. It's a light in the darkness, like the night sky. It's your true north. So, all right. So, let's talk about the moon. Number 18. The moon is receptive energy. It is also a card about wildness. And because it's all things associated with the moon. And this is a card of imagination, speculation, dreaming, reflection. This is, when I say it's all things associated with the moon, uh, so everything is cyclical. So we will not stay consistent. It brings tides of life with it. And if you've ever paid attention to the tides, they come and they go. And this is natural. It'll all wash away. So what's the point? And it'll all come back. So it won't matter. Seeing things in the moonlight, something when the moon comes up for me, it's that wild side of life, because there's howl at the moon. How many of you actually go out and howl at the full moon? Try it sometime. It's a lot of fun. It'll freak your neighbors out, which is even better. But seeing things in the moonlight, you're not seeing things clearly because the moon reflects the light of the sun. When the moon comes up, this is something that is felt very, very deeply. And it's a card of being psychic. It's the card of evolution. It calls for you to face your fears, examine those deep emotions and instincts, and to help balance that beauty and the wonder. So let's see, we've got moon card of, yes, cycles, intuition, dreams, wildness, madness, the tides. Yep, moon magic. When the moon is full and bright, the stars are harder to see. Yes. Navigating by the stars, the wise men and the Vikings. Yes. I love it. You just started reading the Holistic Tarot. Love the moon card. You want your conscious and subconscious to communicate. The moon card reminds us to do that. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Lisa Rhodes, I dance in the moonlight. The moon is a special connection with me. I always have always made it special. That's great. Can it be change of environment in the crustacean leaving the water onto land? Yes, Cindy, it could be. It could be a change in environment. It could be because you can't see things clearly and you need to move and to get a clearer vision of that. When the moon comes up for me, this is a card of paying very close attention to your subconscious and dreams. There is also, it's all things associated with the moon and phases of the moon. And in a health reading, it could be a hormonal imbalance. So, it's related to all things impacted by the phase of the moon. So, all right. If I were looking at this as a timing thing, it could take about a month, a full lunar cycle. So, all right, let's see. The full moon affects my emotions and sleep quite drastically. Yeah. Cycles and subconscious stuff. I try to remember that not everything in the shadows is bad or scary once we turn on the light. It is definitely a card of the goddess, yes. And omens. Keep your intuition open for signs. Absolutely. Yes. Or the next moon phase depicted on the card. Yes. I may have to pick up the Holistic Tarot. I love the Book of Maps, Spirit Keepers Tarot, but right now I still need to finish the Barbara Walker guidebook. Yep. Which has been great so far. Yep. I have actually, it's funny because here's the Barbara Walker book, Coyote the Great. You know, we all do things like that. So, all right. Well, good, Kathleen G. I'm glad. All right. The moon is about beauty and wonder, so don't forget that. So let's move on to the sun. Everybody take a sip. The sun is about long-term enlightenment. This is joy. This is projective energy. It's a very, very happy card. Bye, Kathleen G. It's a cyclical card as well. And think about enlightenment. Enlightenment is wisdom that comes through time. We grow wiser, we study, and moving through the cycles of life. We need the sun for growth. It is a growing energy. It's a longer cycle than other things, and it is a card of expansion. In a love reading, this is a card about deep communication and commitment, and committed relationships. So, pay attention to that. It's also literal enlightenment. Could be education. You're getting some smarts. You're understanding. When the sun card comes up, I think about this as, we can see things clearly, and we're trying to, when the sun is at its peak, everything is lit up. And so all aspects of the sun card are not positive. And so depending upon what you pair it with, it could mean burnout. It could mean being committed to a good thing or committed to something that's not quite right. And the sun is definitely a card of attainment. And also it's that glory and that majesty. And because we see there's a lot of, oftentimes it's depicted with some victory to it. All right. The sun is seeing things easily for what they are and still feeling contentment. I see it very much as a Buddhist message. Be aware, but don't let outside factors affect you. Things become clear when the sun comes up. Yes. Too much sun can be dangerous too. Absolutely. Yes. It could be sometimes toxic positivity depending upon where it falls and the type of reading. So, it's the God card, yes, where the goddess card would be definitely the moon, the God card would be the sun. I often find the theme of spotlight of truth coming through a lot with the sun. Yes. And burnout. And here's the thing, this is really good. I see you in chat. You're commenting about things that are important to pay attention to. Is where does the sun fall in the reading? What is it shining its light on? What cards around it are impacted it? And that's something really important to pay attention to. If it falls after the Seven of Cups, delusion, too sunny, or you're just going to fall asleep in the sun and you're going to get sunburned because you're deluding yourself, or you're delusional and you're not taking any action. Sun shows clarity but creates shadows. Yes. Yeah, relaxation and warmth. Yep. A snake cannot speak. Yes. And so this is where, as we're going to do more of Tarot the Stash Way, we'll start talking about how to ask a question and card combinations. There's some really wonderful videos out there already about card combinations. So we need the sun for growth. It's a growing energy. It's a cyclical energy, and it's a longer cycle, so pay attention to that. All right, 2 more cards. Judgment, number 20. Judgment is the card of rebirth. It is also a card of discernment. And these are weighing the values of things, and these are big picture things. When judgment comes up in a reading, this card comes with a calling. And are you hearing the calling? Are you following it to make those decisions for your overall best and desired outcome? I think it's something to keep in mind. This is also a card of someone fulfilling their mission, and it is contribution to the greater good. In a love reading, this sometimes it could feel like you could have had something better. You just sort of settled. On the negative side, for the judgment card, this could be the card of obsession, because when you judge others, others judge you. So it could be a bit like that. Judgment is, I'm looking at my notes to make sure that I have it. When you think about the judgment card, what do you think about? And judgment is as I said, it's a card with a calling or a commitment associated with this. You need to really understand and realize your purpose. And Kathy said, self-judgment. Yeah, a lot of self-judgment. Kathy Tortoiseshell Moon said, I used to get the rebirth aspect confused with death. Okay. And so judgment is this is when we have those aha moments, the epiphanies in life. And someone who, contribution to a higher good, using your judgment, is this worth my time? Putting things through that. Okay, I have so much money, so much time, and you have to do that. Use judgment to help you. Does this get me to where I want to go? This is oftentimes a card of there's something more. I am called to something. Lisa Rhodes said, those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, or don't judge a book by the cover. Yes. I once heard something like, justice is getting jail time and judgment is the day you get out. You have paid your dues. That's nice, Lori. I like that. And for me, the difference between judgment and justice Judgment feels to me those really big life purposes. What's my purpose? So that's judgment. And justice is the how am I managing my everyday decisions? How am I balancing that? Lori, thank you for that. Resurrection of the past, forgiving yourself for past mistakes. Cindy C., very nicely said. Beth said, I feel as though the judgment card in the traditional RWS really is influenced by Pixie's conversion to Catholicism. I would agree with you on that. I mean, oftentimes the pictures depict that. And Beth says, I personally read judgment as awareness. It takes out some shit I can't really read well. Mm-hmm. All right. Let me take a sip and make sure that I have everything on that. And when you think about it, when in the 0 through the 21, we're almost to the end. So that's important. So sometimes it's being judged. If you have some exams or tests, yes, I could see that. Michelle Marie said, you pulled the judgment card as Fox was passing. Gerald, Fox paid his dues on Earth and transcended into a new being. I really appreciate the oh, that's beautiful. Shall we talk about the world? The world, card 21. It is wholeness and mastery. This is we've come through it. We've done all that, and we have come full circle. It represents the beginning and the end, because this the world card. If we were going to start this gun, bye Beth, bye Beth. For the world, this is a card about reaching your true potential, and you go through this cycle and eliminate which doesn't help, and it really helps you reach your true potential. This is a card, when the world shows up, it's the card of the universe providing for you. And I think it's one of those things that you have to make the decision. Are you going to leap and go on your next adventure or not? It is a card about, for me, it's a card about incarnations, reincarnation, perhaps, different cycles. The card about reaching your true potential. It's also thinking about this as the world. It's let's see if I can, okay. It's like, okay, I've been here before. I'm comfortable with this. Now I'm going to be moving forward. So I can allow that to help me and move me on to that next level. What do you all think about when you see the world card? I mean, because it's the 2021. It's the last card of the major arcana, and so it's fulfillment, completion. You've got it. And Benabel Wynn says masterpiece and consummation. Those are really good things to consider with that. Depending upon the image that you have with the world card, it can feel very victorious. It can feel being elevated and propelled forward. And so, again, it's that reaching completing the cycle, and then being able to use the mastery that I've brought through me on those other cards, and move me forward. you'll notice that a lot of these cards are cyclical. We have so the moon, the sun, and the world are all indications. All right, let's see. Kathy, realizing goals and dreams for the next chapter to unfold. Absolutely. Jonathan got busy. The world always feels a bit meh to me. Okay. It's sometimes a letdown because of all of the buildup, and it's almost like it's like the 10 in the minor arcana, where it's you're living with with your choices, and you're waiting for the next thing to jump. So Coyote the Gray said, if it were a pregnancy question, I would see it as birth. So likely, it certainly could be. Certainly could be, for entertainment purposes only. Michelle Marie, you're getting a lot of love for your lost loved one. Maruda sees it as unlimited opportunities. Yeah, and I do like. There's certain cards that when they show up, I'm like, okay, this is good. Like the world is one of those cards. So, woo! We made it through the majors in 3. There you go. Thanks for sticking with me. Like and subscribe. The world is different in readings for me. One, exploration, another, we are as one. Yes. Overwhelming. Yeah, well, it could be overwhelming. Yeah. And fulfillment, absolutely. Absolutely. So, thinking about this, Calla Lizzie will watch back. And thanks to all for joining me for Tarot the Stashway. We're finished with the majors. We have come through, we've done the court cards, we've done the numerology, we've done the suits, we've done the Fool's Journey through the minors, we've done the majors, and what do you want to know next? Let me know that. The world is a vampire set to drain, maybe? It came up a lot when I was doing my dissertation to say, finish what you started. Literally had the weight of the world on my shoulders. And see, and that's an important thing about when you look at the cards. What is the question? And how does this card relate to the question? And sometimes it's exactly what Kathy says. I have the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I've got to get through this. So, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yay, yay. Love the chats, everybody. I'm glad you learned a lot. Thank you, Cindy C. Thank you, Lisa. You're welcome. Betsy Palmer's going to be on next week. I'd like to know something about timing. Okay. I'll add that to the list. It's a Smashing Pumpkin song. Okay. Great session. Thank you. Thank you. Very informative. Yes. Expansive and fun. Everybody have a good night. So, thank you. Appreciate it. So, like and subscribe to the channel here so that you know what's coming up. I do have some nice things coming up. I will work on more things for Tarot the Stashway, including how to ask the question, because that's an important thing. And if somebody wants to join me for Tarot the Stashway and ask me questions about tarot, I'm happy to answer them. I have lots of opinions. Some of them may even be good. So, thank you, everybody. You're welcome. And all right. Well, we will say goodbye. And make sure you tune in next time so that you can see on Monday. I have Kelly on with me, and we are doing a silly casual, which may include readings. It's Monday the 13th. It will include a lot of silliness. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.